Okay, today we're going to talk about midpoint. So you're going to put your day and midpoint at the top. And midpoint is exactly what you think of it. It's the halfway distance, halfway point, or middle point. Okay? In order to get the midpoint, we have to have two coordinates, and then we want to find their center. So basically, we want to take, let's say I have coordinate 2, 5, and then I have coordinate -4, 3. And I want to find the halfway point between these two. I need to use the formula x1 plus, x2, and then you're going to divide that in 2 because you're finding the halfway. And then you take your y1, add it to your y2, and then divide it by 2. And that will give you your center or middle coordinate. So if you think about it, when you're finding halfway point, you're finding the average. You add them and divide by 2, add them, divide by 2. So if this is my x, we can call this x1, y1, and x2, y2. So very simply, I'm going to take my two x's and add them together and divide it by 2. And then I take my two y's, 5 plus 3, add them and divide by 2. So my midpoint would be 2 plus -4, which would give me -2 over 2, or -1, and then 5 plus 3 would give me 8 over 2, or 4. So between these 2 points, the halfway point will be at -1, 4. So let's look at a couple more examples. Some of them are easy. So like if you were looking at this one, this would be easy to determine the halfway point right there, right? So that would give you 5, 3. Really no point in using the midpoint formula for that one. Same thing with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 units wide. So 3.5. So here, it's easy to find the midpoint. It's right here. And that would be at when y is 1.5, or excuse me, x is 1.5 and y is -4. However, when you have something difficult like this, you can't really pick out the halfway point. You could sort of estimate but not know it for sure. So when we have a situation like this, we got to find our two coordinates. So E is at coordinate -5, 5, and F is at coordinate -2, 1. So to find this midpoint, I'm going to take my two x's and add them together, -5 and -2, and divide it by 2. And then I'm going to take my y's, 5 and 1, and divide it by 2. So here, that would give me -7 over 2, and this would give me 6 over 2. And then I can simplify that. This would be -3.5, and this would be 3. So the midpoint would be found at -3.5 and 3. Okay? So you're just adding and dividing by 2. And really it doesn't matter what x you put first or which y. So I could have done -2 plus 5 here, and I still would have gotten -7. And I could have done 1 plus 5, and I still would have gotten 6. That's a commutative property for addition, right? Alright, so let's try a few on your own here. So here's your two coordinates. See if you can find the midpoint. Look at our next two coordinates and see if you can find the midpoint for these problems. What point is in the middle? And here's your bonus question. You know that one endpoint of B is here. I'm telling you this is the midpoint. I'm sorry, you know A. A is here. You know the midpoint. Can you find B when you're given the midpoint and have one of the points? So there's your bonus extra hard question for tonight. I think I did pretty good with only 5 minutes. Have a good night.